You are watching the LemonAid Podcast with Amar Law Group. Join us as we unlock the secrets and expert tips you need to know now.
Hello and welcome to the LemonAid Podcast with attorney Shalev Amar. I am your host, Kevin Rosenquist, and in today's episode, we're diving deep into an important topic that many consumers struggle to understand: the connection between lemon law and car warranties. If you've ever found yourself questioning how a car's warranty impacts a lemon law claim, we're here to enlighten you. Shalev, great to have you back.
Good to see you, Kevin.
So what are some of the biggest questions or points of confusion that you find people have when it comes to the lemon laws and how it relates to their car warranties?
I would say the biggest point of confusion is people don't understand that the original manufacturer's warranty is treated completely differently under the law than an extended warranty. The manufacturer's warranty is basically an assurance of quality, whereas the extended warranty is more like insurance, which really only gives you the right to have repairs covered. It doesn't give you many other rights. And so there tends to be confusion between the two, but they're treated completely differently under the law.
So basically, people might pay for an extended warranty, whether it's through the dealer or through a third party, and they think that covers them on lemon laws as well?
Correct. And typically it does not.
Are there certain instances where it would?
Well, it's not specifically a lemon law claim, but in some states, if a service contract or extended warranty is sold within 90 days of the date of purchase, then the dealership is not allowed to disclaim what are called implied warranties. And so implied warranties are warranties that it's kind of like what it sounds, that the warranty is implied by the law. And so there's two of those. One is the implied warranty of merchantability. And what that is basically the product that you use should be fit for its ordinary purposes. So if you're dealing with defects, then it's obviously not fit for its ordinary purposes. So like, for example, if your vehicle is hesitating or the brakes aren't working or the engine's cutting out on you, then your vehicle is not fit for its ordinary purpose of driving. So it's pretty broad. And there's a more specific implied warranty called the implied warranty of fitness for particular purpose. Now, what that is if the dealer at the time of sale, when you're talking to the dealer and the salesperson might ask you, oh, so what are you going to be purchasing this vehicle for? And then you tell them like, oh, for my daily commute to work, to pick up my kids for school, to go on family vacations. And then the salesman responds and says, oh, it's a great daily driver to get you to work for X, Y, and Z reasons, the suspension, the acceleration, the stereo system, and says that for the other aspects that you're using that you want to use the vehicle for as well. Like for vacations, oh, the seating's really comfortable. It's great for long trips. So if you have defects related to any of those particular purposes, then you can allege breach of the implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. Those claims are against the dealer, the selling dealer. They are not against the manufacturer. So in some states, though, there's what's called a privity requirement. And so it requires like a direct contractual relationship buyer-seller. And that's normally why you can't really go after outside third parties for problems like that. So, with extended warranties, as far as the extended warranty company or the service contract provider, typically you can only go after them if they refuse to cover a repair that they should under the contract. But you can't really get damages for the diminished value of your vehicle, for example, or for loss of use. You can get those kind of damages against the selling dealer if you have an implied warranty.
Okay. So then the manufacturer warranty, then how does that determine whether a vehicle qualifies as a lemon? Does it have a role in that?
Well, it does, because most lemon laws, one of the elements that you need to prove a claim is that you in fact have a manufacturer's warranty. So that's one of the prerequisites to bringing a claim. If you don't have a manufacturer's warranty, you automatically do not have a lemon law claim in most states. And so it's just basically the cost of admission. You have to have a manufacturer's warranty. Then after that, the law sets the standard of what is too many repairs to address a particular defect, nonconformity, or condition, or how much time is too much time in the repair shop before the law says enough is enough. Also gives people the ability to recover attorney's fees in most states. So that's how the Lemon Law applies. It basically, the way it works is that the warranty has its terms, but then the Lemon Law statute in the state or the federal Lemon Law statute under the Magnus and Moss Warranty Act, that provides additional terms that are combined with what the warranty says, or sometimes even supersedes what the warranty says if there's any conflicting language in the warranty, because the law will always overcome what is written in a contract, because you have to follow the law. You can't just write a contract saying, oh, okay, this contract gives me the right to assault or murder people, for example. Like, you obviously can't do that.
Right.
So any warranty, even if it doesn't talk about repair attempts, even if it doesn't talk about reasonable repair time, that is still basically a part of the manufacturer's warranty based on state and federal lemon laws.
So, all right. So basically, if the warranty is expired, it's not a lemon at all. There's no chance of it being classified as a lemon.
I wouldn't say there's no chance at all. It's just much more difficult. So when that has happened, the answer is it depends. If there was an unreasonable repair history while the warranty was in effect, then you may still have a claim, depending on the time limits of the particular law. So let's say, for example, a lemon law that has a 2-year, 24,000-mile lemon law period. And within that period, once you're outside that period, you have 6 months to bring a claim, okay? So let's say you have a motorcycle that has a 1-year warranty, okay? And so if you've had an unreasonable repair history within that first year, and say you've owned the motorcycle for 1 year and 2 months, even though the warranty has been expired for 2 months, you could still bring a lemon law claim because you're still within the lemon law time limit. So that's really what it depends on. Now, let's say you've bought a vehicle, the warranty has expired, and then you have a bunch of repair problems. That would not qualify because it's not warranty repairs.
That's what happened to me with my washing machine. Right after that year warranty, that's when it started breaking down.
Yeah, so that's how it tends to happen. You have the warranty period, and then like a month or two after, all of a sudden the thing falls apart.
That's when things go bad. Yep. All right, so you talked about repair attempts. Does a warranty impact the repair attempts required under lemon law?
It does, because the repair attempts typically have to be under warranty to qualify. There can be exceptions, but most of the time the repairs have to be under warranty. An exception could be if a repair is unfairly categorized as goodwill. Goodwill just means that the manufacturer believes that the repair issue is not covered under warranty, but they're doing it as a goodwill accommodation to the customer. So basically out of the goodness of their heart. But if the repair indeed is a defect in materials and workmanship, or a nonconformity or a condition, then the manufacturer calling it goodwill doesn't mean it wouldn't fall under the lemon law if it should in fact be covered under warranty.
Right. And then we talked about the extended warranties. Essentially, an extended warranty isn't going to help you in a lemon law case at all, right?
I'd say if we're talking about state lemon laws, for the most part, no. Because again, there's other laws like the implied warranty claims, but that's not specifically considered to be lemon law. That's more consumer protection type law. But when we're talking about lemon law, we are talking about warranty enforcement statutes. So either state or federal. And so, yeah, under the extended warranty, you don't have those statutory rights as far as reasonable number of repair attempts. Although under the federal lemon law, what we were talking about earlier, under 15 USC 2308, it says that a selling dealer is legally precluded from disclaiming implied warranty claims if they sell that extended warranty or service contract within the first 90 days from the date of purchase. Typically, they're sold when you buy your vehicle. So the federal lemon law protects you as far as not allowing dealerships to disclaim implied warranties, but it's not a specific federal lemon law claim. if that makes sense. It would
Yeah.
be an implied warranty claim, which is typically governed by state law, state versions of the Uniform Commercial Code, and also what's called state common law, which are judicial opinions interpreting breach of implied warranties.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So how can a consumer prove that a manufacturer violated the terms of the warranty in a lemon law case?
So there's multiple ways. One way is if the manufacturer refuses to either perform or pay for a repair that's clearly covered under warranty because it is a defect in materials and workmanship. So that's one way. The second and third ways are based on the reasonableness of the repair history. So the second way is if there's too many repair attempts for the same substantial issue. And the third way is if there is too much repair time cumulatively. And it doesn't have to be the same repairs. It could be different repairs. It could be multiple different repair attempts all combined, or it could be one repair attempt that takes too long. Typically 30 days is the most common time period.
Okay. And what are the legal rights consumers have when a manufacturer refuses to honor warranty repairs that might be critical for lemon law eligibility?
Well, a consumer can obviously bring both a lemon law and a breach of warranty claim against the manufacturer. So that's why all 50 states have lemon laws, and there's also a federal lemon law, which basically the state lemon laws are at least somewhat modeled after. It's because manufacturers used to provide warranties with products, and the warranty was basically not worth the paper it's written on because, some states did not have very well developed law when it came to warranty matters. It was mainly judicial opinions that were very arcane and difficult to discern. The standards were very difficult to understand. Oftentimes there were contradictory legal opinions. And so in the late 70s, Congress decided basically enough is enough in passing the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act to basically give teeth to the language in warranties and give consumers the ability to enforce those warranties. And then after the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act was passed, most states, mostly in the 80s, all started passing their own state lemon laws. And again, it's because the law that existed before that was not very protective. And like I said, a warranty might not be worth the paper that it's written on.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about this kind of an off meandering a little bit, but when it comes to recalls, if you buy a new vehicle and you get a recall really fast, and that recall, I don't know if it sort of seems kind of intense, maybe makes you nervous. Are there any options you have under lemon law where you could maybe say, hey, I don't want this car anymore, that makes me nervous?
Well, it depends. So recalls are a little bit tricky, that is.
Okay.
On the one hand, what a recall is considered under the law is a subsequent remedial measure. Typically, you don't want to penalize companies for doing something that improves consumer safety. That's why if there's a recall, it's very difficult to file any kind of personal injury claim because the company is trying to fix the problem.
Right.
On the other hand, it's kind of a gray area in the law, but in my opinion, a recall does not preclude either a lemon law claim or a breach of warranty claim. And here's why. Because in the scenario that you're describing, you just bought a vehicle, it's under warranty, has a substantial recall. Let's say the recall takes over 30 days. Well, that's unreasonable. Your vehicle should qualify as a lemon. So whether it's a recall, it's great if they're doing a recall to make the vehicle safer, but that doesn't absolve the company of the responsibility to perform the recall within a reasonable time, or a reasonable number of attempts if they keep having to do it over and over again. Another kind of gray area, squirrely situation is if there's a recall where the company is saying, like one of the recalls I've heard of before is that there's a battery issue, the vehicle could catch on fire, you have to keep your vehicle outside and parked, and you can't drive it till they come up with a repair. Well, even though your vehicle's being repaired, you obviously can't use it.
Right.
So, the problem with drafting statutes is legislatures try and draft them as broadly as they can to cover as many situations as possible. However, what can happen in real life is basically an infinite number of scenarios. So no statute can contemplate every type of situation that might happen. So I would say in a recall situation where a vehicle can't be used, it might not necessarily violate the specific letter of the law, if you're being super exacting about and literal about how you're reading a statute, but it definitely violates the spirit of the law. Where again, the spirit of the lemon law is like, hey, you have an opportunity to repair, but that opportunity has to be undertaken within a reasonable number of attempts or time. And so, although, again, it's kind of a gray area, lemon laws are also what are called remedial consumer protection statutes. When a statute is remedial, it's meant to redress a problem and remedy a problem. And so remedial statutes under the law are supposed to be broadly interpreted. So I would say if it ends up being a gray area, because lemon laws are remedial, even if the exact language doesn't fit, it should still be interpreted as pertaining to that particular situation. But it also just depends on which company you're dealing with. Some of them will understand that argument and agree with it. Some will not. It also depends, frankly, in the context of if you do have to file a claim on how the judge views the law. Like, does this fall under the spirit of the law? Or if it's not literally within 100% of the language of the law, well, then I'm not going to apply it. And it really depends on the judge's judicial philosophy on how he or she interprets the law and statutes as to how the judge would view that particular issue. Sometimes legislatures, if that type of problem happens too much, they can actually, amend or revise or update the statute to cover that particular situation if enough people complain about it to their local representative.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on the LemonAid Podcast with lemon law expert Shalev Amar. Please like and subscribe to our channel and leave a review. And Shalev, please let us know, how can people get in touch with you?
So we're in a variety of states, and let me let you know the websites for each particular state. So in Arizona, it's ArizonaLemonLawAdvocates.com. In Washington State, it's WashingtonLemonLawAdvocates.com. In Oregon, it's OregonLemonLawAdvocates.com. In California, it's CaliforniaLemonLawAdvocate.com. In Utah, it's UtahLemonLawAdvocates.com. In Colorado, it's ColoradoLemonLawAdvocates.com. In Nebraska, it's NebraskaLemonLawAdvocates.com. And in Nevada, slightly different, NevadaLemonLaw.info.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Shalev. Always great to see you, and looking forward to the next one.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Great talking.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and comment below.